What up, everybody? Welcome back to Feral Publications YouTube channel. It's always me, Rich, and not always, but predominantly, I talk about zines. And today's gonna be one of those days. I got a bunch of zines that I want to talk about from seagreenzines. Let's get into it. Well, first things first, I want to say this is gonna be a 3-episode little block because Seagreen sent me a big ass package with a bunch of zines in it and a note. Let me read the note. Give me 1 second. It says, "Hello, Pharaoh, how are you? Love what you're doing with Zine and stuff. I'm finally sending you some Zine goodness. Best wishes, Nix." If you don't know Seagreen's actual name, it's Jamie Nix. And so, what did I get inside of the package? Well, one thing I got was 12 issues of Mrs. from Murray Bridge, which is an amazing little zine. And it was one of the things that kind of prompted me to do the anarchist zinester art vlog. And so that I feel like is one thing that I want to tackle. The other thing is the paper currency issue. Now, the paper currency issue really is a very interactive zine, and it's really rooted in the community, and it's something that obviously I want to review it as a zine, but then I also wanted to go out and talk about the listings that are on the zine that ultimately pertain to anyone who is a zinester or zine enthusiast or just wants to know more about zines. And so, as opposed to giving you guys a 15-minute, video, I was just like, just break them up, okay? Make it easier for everyone. And so in this first video, I want to talk about Mrs. from Murray Bridge. One of the things I like a lot about it is the format. It's not the normal format. It's actually like a one-page kind of brochure looking zine, which I have never seen, but Seagreen's in it alludes to her having seen other zines like this. So this is something new for me, but possibly not new for anyone else. But I thought this was dope. This format is, I've never seen it, so it really caught me off guard and was something that I took note of very quickly. Now, so what is Mrs. from Murray Bridge? It's basically Seagreen's vlog or blog, but just on paper, about what she's been up to, what she's been dealing with, and a lot of that. And that's one of the things I love about Seagreens is that she talks about the shit that as a zinester, not a lot of people talk about. Like, I got a lot of homies. I'm the only homie that makes zines, and so, you know what I mean? Like, I can't really relate to them on that portion of it. And it's a pretty big portion of my life. So that means that ultimately, it goes unsaid. But then here comes Seagreens, and she has this style, very funny, very humorous writing style that's very friendly and just good natured and uplifting. And then she's talking truths that you feel, but ultimately you didn't know anyone else kind of felt that way as well. Like, this is the kind of shit that I feel all zinesters everywhere should read, right? It's one of those zines. And it's one of those things, like I'm saying, where she does such good work when she's building that community, of that zine community, that self-publishing, artistic, creative community is just amazing. Mrs. from Murray Bridges, and so much just truth gems that she drops on you that are just some of the things that really struck a note with me personally was the beginning. She's talking about having bought a house. For those of you who don't know, I just bought a fucking house. So that was something that I related to on a personal note. And so it was fun to read her debacles and situations, right? Like when the tree fell on my house, it broke through the gate, and so my puppies were also prisoners of the new house because they could have ran out whenever they wanted to. So I definitely didn't just let them out unsupervised. So it's one of those things where I can relate and feel her. Not only that, but the back of my house is kind of like the woods, so I definitely don't want them wandering to the back of the house where the woods are, and I never see my puppies again. So that's one thing that I really connected with in these zines. The other thing that I really liked about these zines that for me was very fun, because I've been there since day one watching the Zine Collector podcast. And it's one of those things where if you haven't been listening to Zine Collector podcast, watching them on YouTube, aren't subscribed to her channel, all that shit, please do so now. But as a person that was actively participating in it, like, it's fun to see and read her thinking about starting it and her execution of it and all that. And then one of the issues she talks about, the 10th episode of Zine Collector podcast, the community episode, And I was in that episode. It's one of those things where I'm talking about, like, she does such good community building. And she really strikes a nerve, you know, a very, 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 very good way of understanding the zinester psyche, you know? And never mind the fact that some of it, you know, she gets political, and some of it she talks about, you know, class privilege and things like that. But it's such a good natured way that she says it, as opposed to me being so confrontational and kind of like a punk ass, right? She's very, very sweet and very nice, but nonetheless makes the point about class privilege. I love that issue 12 where she goes on the Etsy rant, which is very, very true, you know, and that's what I'm talking about, where these are things that as zinesters pertain to us, not necessarily the whole world. But Sea Greens has her fingers on the pulse, and she kind of feels where we're at. You know what I mean? And so I definitely fucking love Miss It from Murray Bridge. I really, really recommend it to everyone, anyone. And as always, don't forget,
fight the fascists.
that's right, fight the fucking fascists and lates.